Hello, my name is David Defoe, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Mental Health Matters. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the myths, specifically 7 myths of depression. Depression is a serious illness that's cloaked in many misconceptions, and some of these myths contribute to the stigma around depression and do a lot to isolate the little over 7% of the population in the US who suffer with a depressive disorder or depressive symptoms. So recognizing what depression looks like and noticing when you have depression and getting help is very important. Now, take a look at episode 13 where Malcolm Bernard talked about what depression looks like. But here are a few of the warning signs that I just want to put back up and remind you of: a loss of interest in things you enjoy, trouble sleeping, a loss of or oversleeping, a loss of appetite or overeating, feeling angry or irritable, thoughts of suicide or feelings of sadness or hopelessness, or an inability to concentrate, or low levels of motivation or energy, feeling anxious, thoughts of suicide. These are countless. So I want to talk about some of the countless stigmas and misconceptions about depression. We're going to go through them really quickly. And so I'm going to just put them up. The first one is: depression isn't a real illness. Now, many people mistakenly believe that depression is mere sadness or even a weakness of character. But in fact, depression is a complex mental disorder. It has social, psychological, and biological origins, and it can be treated in a variety of different ways. Another one that we see is that the idea that people can simply snap out of their depression. To be honest, no one chooses to be depressed, okay? Some people mistakenly believe that it happens when you allow yourself to wallow in your grief or your sadness, and they may think that it could be cured with positive thoughts or a change in attitude. And for some, that is the case, but in others, it requires more than just that. Here's another one of the myths: depression is only brought on by a traumatic event. A life event like the loss of a loved one triggers feelings of sadness or loneliness and emptiness in everyone. However, those who deal with depression are more likely to experience those feelings for long periods of time and even a little more frequently. So a traumatic event does not cause depression, but it only heightens an already existing issue in someone who deals with depression on a regular basis. All right, here's another one: depression is the same as being sad. See, feeling down and being depressed are two very different things. Depression can be brought on by feelings of sadness, but feeling down doesn't last as long as an episode of depression. Many people don't understand that depression can last for a few weeks to an entire year. And unlike sadness, depression usually doesn't go away on its own. People with depression have many other emotions other than just feeling sad. They can sometimes feel anxious or tense or empty and can experience other negative emotions. Here's another one that we're going to talk about as far as medication is on Sunday, when I have a friend of mine, Leighton Kennedy, coming on to talk specifically about psychotropic medication. But this idea that medication is the only way to manage depression is not necessarily true. Medication is one of the types of depression treatment, but therapy is also another option. And research shows that specifically something like cognitive behavioral therapy is especially effective in helping people manage their depression. All right, let's go through one more of these. If you have a family member with depression, you will automatically have it too. The truth of the matter is there are some genetic predispositions to depression, and research shows, however, that is actually very slight. Of people who have a relative who also deals with depression, only 10 to 15% will also develop depression themselves. Those who have family members with depression may also have a better understanding of the signs and might be more sensitive to changes in their own behavior and their emotions. This is the last one that I want to share with you all. And this is one that I want to take completely the stigma away from. Depression is a sign of weakness. Let's be honest. Depression does not discriminate. You do not decide to become depressed. The only reason depression is viewed as weakness, the only reason that depression is viewed as weakness is that society has stigmatized the condition. Depression is a biological and psychological condition that has nothing to do with how strong you are. And so people also think that talking about the feelings that they have will only make them the matters worse. And it's a common misconception that discussing depression merely reinforces destructive feelings and keeps you focused on negative thoughts. It's more harmful to keep these things in than by hashing them out. Listen, if you want to talk to someone in a supportive and reliable and non-judgmental way about how you are feeling, we're putting up some resources here. Make sure that if you need help, that you connect yourself with someone that is able to help you. And on Wednesday, I just want to let you all know that we're going to talk about the differences between men and women as it relates to depression. And of course, join us tomorrow, which is Tuesdays, for Tuesdays with Theo. Have a wonderful day.